Hi, I'm Michael from Kitchinsider. Welcome to the channel. This video is the second in a little series that I'm doing where we basically sit down and look at some amazing kitchens together. So I reached out to some more of my favourite kitchen design companies and asked if I could share some of their beautiful kitchen design projects with you. And they all said yes, which is super nice of them. So thank you again to all of these companies. I'll put all their information and links to their websites in the description below, so you can find them yourselves and get inspired by more of their fantastic projects. So I've got 3 companies and 2 projects per company for us to look at. So let's get into it, starting with Vermland. Kicking things off from Copenhagen, Denmark, we've got Vermland, based on a refined yet experimenting approach to product design, interiors and architecture. They intertwine Danish traditional craft with an interest in new materials, creating a non-traditional design rooted in nature. The kitchens I'm looking at today are a ready-to-assemble modular system, ensuring a long-lasting, sustainable and affordable design. I'm a big fan of this kitchen. Well, I'm a big fan of all of these kitchens, but especially this one. It falls into that sort of warm, minimalist design which I've talked about in a previous video. And while it may look sort of relatively simple, there's actually a lot of little design details in this which I just love. You've got this beautiful warm wooden finish with a mixture of the clean slab doors you can see at the back and those sort of batten finished end panels, and that curved cabinet on the end there really adds more texture to the space. It's a completely handleless design which I love, except for what I assume is the fridge at the back there. A lot of the time with some of these handleless designs you still need to put a handle on the fridge because of the seal keeping it closed. Sometimes those built-in handles are a bit tricky to get it open, so you need a proper handle to grip. Looks like we've got some nice Miele ovens in the back there. That's a boiling water cooker tap with a flex that pulls out. An undermount stainless steel sink. Looks like a Bora hob, induction hob on the other side. And I would guess that's probably a marble worktop as well. One of my favourite little features about this kitchen, although it is a modular kitchen and slotted together, it looks like it's a little bit more freestanding. It doesn't have a plinth or toe kick at the bottom. Instead it's sort of standing on these little wooden legs with these lovely little stainless steel feet at the bottom. I really love that look. I think it's kind of elevating the standard modular kitchen that you would expect to get. Another little detail that I love is that curved cabinet on the end there. The door sort of folds into itself when you open it, but like a sort of timbre door. I just think that's a lovely little addition and a really clever design feature. A nice tall larder with some built-in drawers. That's super handy, lots of storage there. And the thing that blows most people's minds, and my favorite little trick of this kitchen, is the integrated dishwasher. So if you look here, you've got the dishwasher to the left of the sink on the island. Here it is closed, and you can see it here open. You can also see that handle detail, how you would open the doors and drawers. But if you look at it, that dishwasher isn't touching the floor. You're still on those little feet elevating everything, and you'd still have that gap underneath. So how do they do it? This next kitchen, I would argue, falls into that warm minimalist design aesthetic again, which if you haven't figured out already, I'm really into at the minute. This time it's with a darker stained wood, and we've got some plain slab coloured doors as well. We've got those feet again on the island with the little legs, giving it that freestanding look, whereas the tool cabinets on the back wall have a plinth or toe kick at the bottom, covering that gap, just showing that they can do both. It gives you some options. Lovely herringbone floor. Got another boiling water tap there. It's another cooker in the antiqued brass or bronze finish, whatever they call it. Matches that modern looking single pendant light over the island. Induction hob with a twist pad control. Very nice. And if you look straight above it, they've gone for a ceiling hood flush in the ceiling. And just behind the hob, they've got that little cut-in section for some seating. So maybe 1 or 2 bar stools in there, depending how cozy you want to get. Choosing that sort of battened finished end panel again, which just brings in more texture to the space. It's really popular right now, having that sort of battened or fluted wooden featured look. The oven's hidden around the other side of the island underneath the hob. Looks like a Gaggenauer side opening oven, and that'll be a drawer underneath it as well. Nice larder cupboard with some internal drawers at the bottom, and they put a slab of worktop in there as well to create a bit of a space. Looks like they've got their coffee station set up there, which is a nice little detail. Overall, it's a very simple and clean kitchen. It's got that minimal aesthetic, still practical. It's got everything you need and a decent amount of storage, making full use of the height on that back wall, and it looks like lots of drawers, which is always great. Next up, I've got Kitchens by Paul. Moving over to Sweden, Kitchens by Paul are a full-service interior design company based in Stockholm, creating bespoke living spaces renowned for being executed with an unparalleled dedication to quality, and taking a thoughtful approach to designing interiors that are distinctive and have a high level of functionality. There's so much to to unpack with this kitchen. It may not seem like it at first glance, but there's so many little things I just absolutely love going on here. Again, I'd argue that we're in this warm minimalist category again. However, this one's definitely got a little bit more of a organic feel to it with the shape of the island, but also paired with those period feature elements like the crown molding, and especially on the ceiling, it just kind of gives it this whole new style to it. So we've got a chevron patterned wooden floor, and then a light oak for the cabinets, and that's a Taj Mahal stone, which is a quartzite. And then on the islands, they've clad those cabinets in the stone, and even the legs on the island and the overhang all clad in this stone, which is absolutely stunning. Even the plinth is stone. It turns the island into like a sculpture, like a big slab of stone has just been chiseled there. So starting with that back wall, you've got this clever symmetry, which I'm a big fan of. So on the top with the wall cabinets, it's split up into 4 sections, and each one's like a double door. And in between those sections, a really nice touch is this slither of stone just set in and separating those cabinets. And then underneath, you've got these 2 sections of sort of 3 cabinets splitting that run perfectly in half. And on one side, you've got the sink, and then on the other, you've got a venting hob. And each of those 2 sections is then framed across the 3 cabinets, which helps to clearly define that cooking section and washing up section. And then on the other side of the kitchen, you've got this bank of tool cabinets, again divided by these slithers of stone, and each door being the same width to create that uniform symmetrical feel. So you've got this cut-in handle detail, I'm assuming that's the fridge and the freezer, and then next to it these beautiful full-height glass doors with a sort of wine drinks cabinet inside and some internal drawers at the bottom. And again, you've got these stone slithers, a bit like sort of stone pillars on the back there, and that stone cladding the back of the cabinet as well behind the wine bottles. You've got your built-in oven, looks like a Miele oven, hidden away on the other side of the island, so nicely hidden out of sight. And then lots going on with the island itself. So it's completely clad in this stone, which is incredible. And you can see sort of how they've done it with this picture here with the door. But some of the little details about this island that I really love are, one is that chamfer on the door. So it's a handleless door. You've got that kind of handleless gap rail running around, but with that chamfer, especially with the stone cladding as well, it's a really nice little touch. Alongside that, you've got a shark nose profile on the island countertop where it kind of cuts in underneath. And then as well as all of that, you've got an LED strip recessed into the handleless gap itself, which is just pretty crazy, this attention to detail. And they've run an LED strip sort of tucked underneath the toe kick plinth area as well. So what looks like a really simple and effortless design has really got so much going on underneath. And I'm sure there's lots more that I can unpack with this kitchen as well. Very beautiful, it's very clever, and I love it. So another beautiful project, this time it's a darker smoked oak finish to the doors and a decked-on worktop actually. So you've got a stone-fronted sink on the back wall, nicely framed by those tool cabinets, and then a venting hob on the kitchen island, and it looks like a little built-in wine cooler on the back end of the island as well. There's also a nice little built-in seating area or banquette using the same materials, and even that table looks like it's using the same decked on. Now, there's a little giveaway to how I know that that's decked on. If you look on the edge of that tabletop, it's just a plain color. The pattern and the veining that's on top doesn't run through it. And this tabletop will be about 20 mil thick, which I think is the thickest that decked on slabs come in. They also come in thinner slabs, 12, 8 mil thick, things like that. But if you look at the worktop in the kitchen, on the island, and on that sink run, you'll see it looks a lot thicker. That isn't a solid piece of stone. So to achieve that look, and so that the edge also has the same pattern as the top, they'll have joined some pieces together. That'll be a mitered finish to give you that edge. And then it will be built up, kind of packed up underneath with substrate of some kind. It won't be solid all the way through. But it's a nice little trick to get a thicker looking worktop and to keep that pattern on the edge so you've not got that plain coloured strip. With this nice tool bank of cabinets that's got some built-in ovens, looks like 2 built-in ovens and a coffee machine with some open shelving and recessed LEDs in there. It's really nice. And on the back of that section, you've got some more storage with some tool cabinets either side of these full height glass cabinets with what looks like glass display shelves as well. Got a mixture of plain slab doors and then that kind of battened wooden effect on the island. You can see here how that works with the cupboard doors and drawers. Lovely detail, and again, it's just one of those things that brings a bit more texture and warmth into the room. A really lovely kind of rich and moody kitchen, this one. Big fan. And lastly, I've got Studio Minosa. Jumping over to Australia and New South Wales to check out Studio Minosa. With an appreciation, passion and commitment to bespoke, authentic design, they create extraordinary interior spaces from conception to completion. I'm just focusing on their kitchen projects, but they have some beautiful bathrooms and other interior spaces definitely worth checking out. Starting with something a little bit different here, it's a hidden kitchen concept. So this is a space in the middle of the house that's kind of open to the other rooms. If you look through the archway at the end, it's a dining room, and behind the camera here is a living room. And because it's sort of attached and open to these other rooms, I wanted to go for this hidden kitchen concept that helps it blend in with the rest of the house and the rest of the features of the house. So from here we have this kind of sleek looking island with a lovely timber overhang for a breakfast bar, but still very sleek and minimal, with what looks like just some full height wall paneling on one side that's kind of matched by the paneling on the other side down at the bottom. All painted white to help it blend in with one another and just sort of disappear into the background. However, cleverly hidden away behind these folding and pocket doors, it reveals a fully working kitchen. So inside this section here, you've got a nice wide induction hob with an extractor above, and there'll be drawers underneath. You can just see this by that little drawer line gap in the cabinetry front. And just to the left, you've got another pocket door that will slide away with the ovens hidden inside that one. And then I'm assuming on the right, that'll be an integrated fridge and freezer. So you've got everything you need for your kitchen, but it's all cleverly hidden away by these cabinet doors, folding doors and pocket doors and things. Got that beautiful dark wood flooring and that chevron pattern that really helps to contrast against the otherwise all white room, which helps bring in a bit of kind of needed warmth, otherwise it could look a little bit stark. Marble countertops and a 2-bowl integrated sink in stainless steel, as well as the island clad in marble and the backsplash behind the hob, all marble as well. By doing this, it keeps it all the same and ties those sections together, gives it a more cohesive but still minimal look. Another one of these where it may look really simple, but there's a lot of clever little details and a lot of thought that's gone into this. And then rounding things off with a splash of colour, a little touch of Art Deco and that gorgeous emerald quartzite. So it's slightly smaller, but by no means less beautiful kitchen here. Really fun, bold, sort of warm pink colour on those tool cabinets, paired with those wooden slatted fronted base cabinets and that worktop, which I absolutely love. And I think because the ceiling slopes down to quite low near that window, not wanting to block the window at all, they've opted for this open shelving with that brass metal detailing that ties in with the rest of the kitchen, these little metal accents. You've got the tap also in brass, as well as the handles and this strip that runs across these tool cabinets, which is a really nice little touch, that metal inlay. And as well, they carried on that strip of metal from the tool cabinets to the edge, the front edge of the worktop. It looks really nice, that kind of cohesive look around the kitchen. And along with those metallic elements, you've got this sort of etched detailing on the tool cabinet doors, this kind of curve on the top and the bottom, giving it that little Art Deco nod. You've got an undermount sink at the back there and these individual gas burners set into the worktop. I'm going to guess that they're Pitt cooking burners. That's P-I-T-T cooking. It's the brand where they have these individual burners that you can set into the worktop along with the knobs as well that control them. It's a really nice detail and feature, and good if you haven't got loads of space. You can kind of pick and choose what burners you want, what size, and kind of where they are, what placement. And at the end of this tool run to the right of the sink, the worktop carries on underneath. Got these folding doors that reveal this little appliance garage section and this lovely little wine storage at the top, those pegs. It's quite fun, and a thin floating shelf. Just a nice little secret area tucked in the end there. This one's a really fun and characterful kitchen with a lot of lovely little design details. So there you go, some more of my favorite kitchen design companies and their projects. I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask you. Which kitchen was your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again to all the wonderful kitchen companies featured in this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.